What's up guys, Houndish here, and today I've got a bit of Destiny 2 stuff that I wanted to talk about. So we've got the reveal of a new PvP map, as well as the return of Control coming in Destiny 2. We have a few more words from IGN's Fireteam chat about the farm social space, more difficult endgame activities coming in Destiny 2. So first up, IGN have already spoken about their PvP reveal coming on the 10th of July, and they gave us a little teaser during this week's Fireteam chat episode. Firstly though, we know that they're going to reveal the Control game mode, which has been revamped for Destiny 2. And in IGN's first impressions, Destin said, all PvP modes are now 4v4, and you're going to have a unique experience from Destiny 1 that seems frightening at first, but Bungie have made some smart alterations to keep the events feeling frantic and forcing teamwork while retaining that Destiny feel of excitement with each match. The new Control mode feels much faster paced, but still familiar with the tweaks they've made, retaining moments like those epic multi-kills you love from the original version. But in Fireteam chat this week, they did mention the new map, which has been custom designed for the Control game mode, and this is called the Endless Vale. At first I thought he actually said Endless Fail. I'm assuming that is not the name of the map. Not unless I'm on it, at least. But in all seriousness, this will be a new map that they reveal for Control with the changes to that game mode. They did show some footage of 4 ships loading into PvP over what appears to be Mercury, so chances are that this is the Endless Vale map. It'd definitely be pretty awesome to have more Mercury PvP maps in Destiny 2. I'm not going to speculate about what the changes could be to Control, but I'm super excited to see it and to see some free-flowing PvP as well as elimination, because we've only really seen the countdown mode up until now, so this should be pretty awesome. Also in Fireteam chat, they spoke about the farm social space and how at first it appears to be a pretty small social space. They were actually speculating as to whether the farm would be the only social space in Destiny 2, but Destin said that while they played in the new social space, there were other areas off to the sides of the social space, including campfires and houses near where you actually spawn in, but they decided not to record all of the space as it hasn't been fully populated by vendors, and they didn't want to spoil everything too early. But if you pay attention in some of the trailer footage, you do see some other areas, such as this one with a campfire, and you can also see kind of open spaces surrounding the perimeter of the social space. So in some respects it looks a little bit more like the Iron Temple, where there is a bunch of kind of like mission space outside of the core social hub. As far as what we haven't seen yet though, it was described as spoiler heavy, so there are definitely going to be some substantial things that we haven't seen up until now. We do know that the farm will evolve over time. Eventually you'll see the likes of the Vanguard once you've found each of them in the main campaign. They were talking about whether the farm is a space that you can travel straight in and out of from patrol on the European Dead Zone, and Destin said he doesn't think it is. And this definitely makes sense. It would be a nice feature for immersion, but perhaps it's a little too complicated to actually pull off at this point. Moving on, Luke Smith spoke about the idea of viewing weapons and items kind of like they're in a golf bag. For certain activities, they want players to decide what gear they should use based on modifiers or the type of mechanics in the gameplay, but then they actually want to lock that down so that once you're in the activity, you can't change your loadout until it is completed. Luke Smith said something pretty interesting as part of this discussion though, and that was that at the pinnacle level of the game, they tried to make it a much tougher game. So it seems essentially like he's saying for those endgame components, so things like trials, raids, or nightfalls, just as examples, they want things to be a little bit more difficult. We don't know which activities will feature locked loadouts in particular. I mean, nightfalls, trials, or some of the competitive PvP, whatever that ends up being, would make quite a lot of sense. But you can see what he's saying about pinnacle level activities. In Destiny 1, with a bit of specking, you could suddenly become pretty incredibly powerful at a certain thing. You know, say it's pulling out Sleeper Simulant against Atheon, or spamming scatter grenades and just decimating ads with Void Burn and Catapult on, or something like that. I think on the whole, looking at the abilities and the perks in the game versus the gameplay we've actually seen, they want, you know, the power of that stuff to just be toned back a little bit. I'm not saying I think weapons or abilities will feel weak. I think the idea is that it's just meant to be a bit more tactical and strategic. We've seen how that is changing in PvP stuff with the countdown mode, and we've got changes to the team size, the HUD and everything like that, and I think we can expect a little more of that in the endgame PvE stuff as well. He does make a clear point though that this is for the real end game pinnacle stuff, you know? New players tackling the campaign shouldn't have to worry that this is going to be some insanely difficult game to play. I think with Destiny 2, more types of player are being catered for, which is probably why we're hearing things like this from Luke Smith, to try and assure more hardcore players that there will be that kind of depth to the gameplay where it matters. So definitely some interesting stuff there. Finally, just wanted to add that in an interview with Finder, Mark Noseworthy spoke about cheating in the game. And this was geared primarily towards PC, but he said we do have a team of people to work on this stuff. We care deeply about maintaining the integrity of the game, so we have some things planned. I'm not going into any specific details on them, but we really want the game to play great on every platform. On PC, that means having a really good plan for how we attack cheating. So any multiplayer game on PC really has to have some good kind of anti-cheat built into it. But also I hope that they address kind of the game in general and some of the stuff on console, you know? Game modes like Trials of Osiris, you still have people who find little exploits and things like that. You still have the problem of DDoSing, which is something that is genuinely quite difficult to actually stop. Of course it can be punished, but that doesn't mean that you're going to eradicate the problem, you know? Either way, it's nice to know that they're thinking about it, and I just want to see some good support for the game going down the road when we've got competitive modes if Trials comes back and things like that. But anyway guys, just a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on any of this stuff down below. It's going to be really exciting getting the reveal of Control and the new PvP map for Destiny 2. And that will happen tomorrow on the 10th of July, so stay tuned for any updates about that. For now though, if you've enjoyed the video, a like and comment is very much appreciated, guys. If you're new to the channel, feel free to hit subscribe if you want to see a lot more Destiny content. But for now, I hope you have an awesome day.